students, researchers, this is video number 10. In this video, we are going to discuss something really important. In the prior videos, we discussed CMV, statistical remedies, preventive remedies. In this video as well, it is important to understand the difference between formative and reflective measurement theory or measurement models or indicators. As a part of your SmartPLS data analysis, it is essential to differentiate between formative and reflective indicators. Okay? What are formative and what are reflective indicators? Formative indicators usually form your construct. For instance, if we take the example ABC, alright? The indicators would be A, B, and C. So 3 indicators for ABC. So this is a formative type of indicators or a formative model. So those A, B, and C make up the construct that is ABC. Another example would be the alphabet. If we take the alphabet as the construct, then the letter underneath the alphabets, whether A, B, C, etc., they'll be reflective indicators. So, reflective indicators reflective constructs cause their indicators, make their indicators to happen. Alright? However, formative indicators make their constructs. They are not caused by the constructs. On the contrary, formative indicators form the construct or cause the construct. In my PhD research, I have studied organizational culture, and I have addressed 17 variables for organizational culture. 17 constructs. Okay, my model in SmartPLS was a higher order model. Okay, organizational culture was a reflective construct because I had unlimited number of constructs or indicators underneath it that are caused by organizational culture. So it is very essential, it is very important to understand and differentiate between reflective and formative constructs or models. So before drawing your same model in SmartPLS, based on theory and based on your understanding of your study, you get to differentiate between formative and reflective indicators and thus build your SEM considering the right format, the correct format. Because if you don't have a correct format and you end up mixing up or messing those formative or reflective measures, you may end up having just wrong results or an empirical study that's not valid, reliable, or founded on correct empirical procedures. Okay, let's move to demonstration now and ensure that we have a full coverage of the difference between formative and reflective indicators. Okay, my fellow students, then let's continue with the formative and the reflective indicators, a differentiation study, an explanation of how each works and how this may impact your SEM, structural equation model. Alright, it is very important to consider and pay attention to every detail in this video. Alright, let's slideshow from the beginning. Alright, and then Okay, so reflective measures, as I mentioned, they are caused by the construct. For example, organizational culture or organizational culture. This is a major construct. This is the main construct under which what comes, for instance, we can take, for instance, employee behavior. We can take ethical behavior. You can name it. So it is a reflective measure or a construct because under which all indicators that come under which they are caused by organizational culture. So I'll give you an example as we progress with this presentation. Formative indicators, form they form the latent construct. Okay, so reflective measures cause their indicators. However, formative measures are caused by their indicators. Okay. In this case, we have to differentiate. It is important to have a good differentiation between formative and reflective constructs and reflective models and formative models once you want to do a structural equation modeling. All right. One central question in social research talks about the operationalization of complex construct, which means that any complex construct, like for instance personality, intelligence, organizational culture, all of those major and abstract constructs have to be operationalized into further sub-constructs or indicators, that's survey questions, in order to operationalize them and thus measure them. Okay. And we have to understand the difference whether the construct is causing its indicators or the indicators, such as the case in formative constructs, the indicators are causing their constructs. As an example here, for instance, if we take A, B, C, D, this is a formative example, okay? A, B, C, D is the construct. Its indicators are what? A, B, C, and D. Those A, B, C, and D, they form the ABCD construct. Okay, we'll come to another example in a bit. Okay, and here any change in these indicators will cause a change in the measured construct. So you cannot, if you have this construct, you cannot just remove one because these four must be there in order to form this construct. Okay, that's not the case in the reflective indicators. In the reflective indicators, you can remove any. And I gave you the example of organizational culture. That's what I studied. Organizational culture, according to some literature, like for instance, Jung et al. 2009, they have done a review of literature. And they have suggested that organizational culture may have up to 100 subconstructs or indicators. Okay, 100. Okay, what I measured in my study is just 17. But if I measured 16, that would be fine. I can do it on 10 or I can do it on 30. It doesn't matter in the case of reflective models because your indicators are caused by the construct. However, in the case of the formative, no. You cannot remove D. Your data will not be valid anymore, and this construct will not be subject or will not be founded on strong grounds. All right? Okay, continuing with our presentation. So, this is a reflective construct. For instance, we're taking here the alphabet. We have A, B, and C. We can have D, E, etc. We can have just A, B. Any change of those will not affect the main construct. This is a reflective type of constructs. So, all right, let's move further. So, as a comparison, reflective indicators are interchangeable, and the removal of one construct, one item will not cause any change, will not change the nature of the construct, will not kind of like impact the results of your study, or maybe just to be more specific, will not change the nature or the foundation or the grounds of your construct. Okay, indicators must be highly correlated. However, in the case of formative indicators, if you omit one, like we had in the alphabet, in the ABC formative, then the nature of your main construct you are studying will just change. Okay, and indicators, in case of formative indicators, can have minus, plus, or zero correlation among each other. Okay, a more specific example on the reflective model or construct. We got satisfaction here, and we have satisfaction, room, service, and food. So this construct here, the satisfaction construct, is formed by hotel food quality, hotel employee services, and hotel room quality. Now, if you remove one of those, the nature of this construct will change. So this is a specific real-life example of a formative measure or a formative model. All right. In the case of let me name it in a different way. Okay, this is a formative, and this is a formative, and this is the reflective. Okay, this is a formative, as I mentioned. This is a reflective type of constructs. You see here, satisfaction is measured or is causing this and this and this. You can remove one of those. You can just add maybe 10 more. You can adjust those indicators. So this is a reflective type of models. This is a very important table here. I'd say an important table to consider. I'd call it here, let me call it an important comparative table. Okay, this is an important comparative table that I could get from on 2017 SmartPLS notes. I made this table, and it is actually a very good comparative table, because if you are not sure of what type of model is your SAM, or what type of modeling your SAM should follow, then maybe you have a look on this table. You get the criterion here, you get the decision, and you get good, very good references. Okay, so maybe here, causal priority between the indicators and the construct, from the construct to the indicators, reflective, and from the indicators to the construct, this is formative. Okay, etc. You can maybe just stop the video now and have a look on this table, copy it, and get back to it whenever you wish. Okay, it's a very good table. The key here, the moral of this video, is to help you differentiate between, understand formative and reflective models, and differentiate between them, so you model your study correctly and you follow your theory correctly. Okay, in a reflective model, we look for the indicator reliability, reflective usually reflective indicator loadings, as we did in the earlier measurement model videos. So indicator loadings, Cronbach alpha, convergent reliability, will average variance extracted must be higher than 0.5. We look for also composite reliability and discriminant reliability using cross-loading, Fornell and Larker, and HTMT. So this is what we do once we assess our measurement model or structural model. Okay? Here, however, in the formative model, we do the same, but we have to check VIF. Okay, it must be greater than 2.5, because greater than 2.5 in order to ensure that we have no multicollinearity problem. Because if we have any multicollinearity problem, we have to remove some items. We check also for the outer weights. Look at the items in the formative measurement. For formative, those are the weights, okay? And in the reflective, we check for loadings, AVE and CR, okay? However, in the formative also, we have to report the t-statistics, the p-value, z-value, to see if they are significant. And in order to do that, we have to use the bootstrapping function in SmartPLS. We'll come to the bootstrapping in details in coming videos. So, what's the moral of this video? What can we get out of it? Model our theory correctly. Model our study correctly. Okay? It is very important to differentiate between reflective and formative models, and then draw your SEM correctly, okay? And draw your arrows correctly, okay? Otherwise, you end up having unreliable, maybe not valid empirical results. Okay, relying on the prior table, this table is really good. It is very informative, very comparative, and well supported with references. Because if you, as I mentioned, if you have to follow formative models and you end up doing reflective models, you may end up with erroneous data or unreliable results, and thus maybe then you have to change your model, and maybe it's not easy to change your model once you get to a stage when you do your measurement model assessment and then structural model assessment. If you do that and then you go back, it's not an easy for a PhD student, because it really takes a lot of time, because in your thesis the data, the methodology may have to be different, and also your data analysis and discussion and conclusion chapters may differ really. All right, this is what we got for the reflective and formative models. Please stay tuned for the coming video. We are going closer to discussing the assessments of SEM, structural equation modeling. Thank you for watching.